Yes, I'm Lee Bergs, and it is quite the interesting situation when I introduced myself over email, being based in China for the last 3.5 years. They tend to be quite surprised when they meet me in person, but is what it is. So let's see. Oh, good. We've got the presentation up and running here. Very good. So thank you for joining. It's basically between me and the drinks here and the food, so I promise not to take too much of the time. But Professor Patak, it was amazing to listen to you and your expertise, all the data, and kind of where we've been, where we're going. So thank you for joining us, and give a round of applause for Professor Patak again. Thank you. That was a great honor to have you tonight. And Mitesh from Microsoft, thank you very much. Always lovely to hear Microsoft talking about Logitech. That's always a great thing. But more importantly, Teams. Teams is really an enterprise class solution that will literally revolutionize the world from a corporate standpoint and from many other standpoints. So thank you, Mitesh. And give a round of applause to Mitesh. Thank you. So just want to go through a few things real briefly, and then we'll be able to get to the drinks, get to the food, and have a lovely evening tonight. So I'll just go through this basic agenda of just a few things that we're going to talk about tonight, you know, just to set the stage, talk about our portfolio, growth strategy, FY21. No, I'm kidding. There's nothing worse when you see an agenda that's about 15, 20 topics deep, and everybody starts grabbing their phones, you know, looking at stocks and everything like that. That's not what I'm about tonight, so we'll try to have a little bit of fun as we go through this. Raise your hand if you recognize this gentleman here on the screen. Anyone recognize him? I see one hand. Do you want to share the name of this man? You think you know who he is? I'll give you a hint. He had this on his television show many years ago. This is a famous man from the United States. Well, his name is David Letterman. And so if you're of an older generation, you would recognize this, the top 10 list. If you're of the newer generation, then you would recognize the older pictures. So David Letterman was a famous late night talk show host in the United States. And every night he would do a top 10 list. And it became a very, very famous bit that he would do. He'd have celebrities join him and whatnot and give a top 10 of current topics and current events and major things that were happening. So tonight, what I figured I would do is just do a quick top 10 solution pain points facing today's modern workplace. I see a lot of familiar faces today who visit us at Infocom. Thank you. If you have not, you still have one more day left. Come to our booth tomorrow at Infocom over there at the show site. But I want to just address a couple of key pain points that hopefully, or unfortunately, that you may be facing at your company, but that Logitech and through some of our solution partners can help with. Because of the transformation of collaboration nowadays, this has caused the open workspace, right? How many of you, by raise of hands, your offices has transformed to look like this? A few of you? Okay. So this is now what the modern workplace can look like. It's open, there's collaboration, there's hot desks. Oh, this is great. Let's all join together. Professor Patak talked about working in groups together. It's better than isolation and working alone. Now this is great. Now this also then presents a new set of challenges. Now there's a handful of huddle spaces and huddle rooms throughout the world. So a huddle room can look anything like this, basically where a group of 3, 4, 5 people can collaborate to bring businesses together. And Logitech offers a solution that you'll see here in the back called Meetup, which is an all-in-one solution that has audio up to 4K with microphones and speakers all built into one. That's a simple USB plug-and-play device just to any PC that you have. So all you need is a computer, and you literally need this device, and you have a full-fledged audio-video solution in any huddle space around the world. So this is kind of an ideal solution. This is what happens. So this open workspace transformation needs what happens. It's similar to what my colleague Varun just did there. He needs to take a call. So he needs to go to find somewhere private to go take this meeting or take that call, and therefore then there's this emergence of huddle rooms all around the world. This means more opportunities to drive teams. This means more opportunities to have more more of a need for room solutions at your company. So now what does this mean? Okay, now I've got open workspaces, and now I've got all these huddle rooms. Well, this is going to cost me a lot of money. This is what I've been taught traditionally. Not so fast. Not so fast. So Logitech, because of the affordability and scalability of our USB-based cameras and audio-video devices, we've actually become #1 in the world for most video conferencing devices sold. So for those of you who have been in the industry for a long time, you may, for a number of reasons, we didn't necessarily list the competitors here, but those who have been in the industry for quite some time probably know some of those key names. We've actually doubled our next second closest competition in the market from a unit sold standpoint. So what this is saying is our customers, the market has responded by saying, wow, I have more rooms, but also I found a solution that can outfit all the rooms that I have in my workspace. So we need to be connected. Number 7, this is the most challenging issue that we have. Believe it or not, even with this huge emergence, still less than 5% of all meeting rooms around the world actually have audio and video devices. So imagine walking into these rooms and there's a table and chairs. Well, now what? You need to bring your own device, bring a camera. How many of us have walked into a room and somebody has an iPhone or a smartphone and they're somehow trying to turn that into a video conferencing device, right? Oh, here, I'll just dial you in, and all of a sudden you've got 10 different devices trying to do audio and video all in one. Let's simplify that. Let's make it very simple, easy to use through some of our solutions today. Using the Logitech Video Collaboration Portfolio Suite with cloud solution partners like Microsoft, you have a simple, easy experience that's consistent. So imagine all of us here, we all know how to use a smartphone, right? It's very straightforward. What if we grabbed our smartphones and we just traded our smartphone with the person next to us and said, okay, now make a phone call, now send an email. We all could do that. It would just take us an extra few seconds to process where we need to go. That's what all of your employees go through, that same experience every time they go into a new meeting room or they go back to their desktop and have to configure a different meeting room or a different video conferencing experience. Let's simplify that. It can be already nerve-wracking enough having the right presentation in front of your boss, in front of your customers. Let's simplify that experience and connect everyone. So beyond this, let's add some intelligence into the room. I've heard some conversations about intelligence, artificial intelligence moving forward. How do we make cameras smarter while still respecting privacy and being secure throughout the world? Logitech announced a solution called RightSense technology, where what we've done from our cameras beyond Meetup and Rally that you'll see over there, we've added in right light, right sight, and right sound, which basically improves the audio and the video within all your devices from a digital standpoint. So a lot of us have been in a video conferencing room where somebody's on video, but it kind of looks like they're in the witness protection program, where they're super bright in the background and all you see is a silhouette of someone in front of you. That could be a bit intimidating if you don't know exactly who it is. What if there was a technology available to adjust that light based off of the technology available? We've created that and enabled that for free as a solution offering within the cameras that you'll see back there. That's just one example of the technology that we've been able to enhance. Another one that I love talking about is right sight, because sometimes there's a lot of dead space or empty space in a video conference where somebody will be sitting in the very back of the room and they're the only person in the room. So what happens is through the technology of right sight, the camera will recognize that there's only one warm body back there and will actually zoom in and fill the space automatically with the people in the room. And so it's a really neat technology where it starts to enhance the usage and the abilities and capabilities of the cameras. So, number 5, quick one-touch join. So we've all walked into a room and seen so many remotes and cables and cords in the room. And how many of us walk in 10 minutes early to start a presentation? Doubt any of us, especially with the traffic that we're dealing with here in Mumbai seemingly on a daily basis. The average meeting room starts almost 10 minutes later than what it was scheduled to. So if you have a meeting with your boss and you have to go over your quarterly review, let's say you're having a tough quarter, things are already a bit sketchy, and then all of a sudden you sit there in front of your boss and have to wait 10 minutes just to try to get the audio video conferencing devices to work, man, you're going to have a difficult presentation in front of you. And so what we've done is to simplify this whole experience with a project called Logitech Tap. And Mitesh talked about this earlier, where through Teams, you walk in, there's a calendar integration, it says 10 a.m. meeting, one touch join. And the audio and video pops up on the screen, and you have a simple interface, easy to use experience, and you're able to begin the conversation. And so imagine if I had come up here and sat and stared at you all for 7 minutes without saying a word. That would be a little uncomfortable. I think half you would walk out or think there's something wrong with me or the microphone. We've unfortunately accepted that experience today with video conferencing devices because that's the average amount of time it takes to sometimes get everything working correctly. We need to remove that, and we've been able to thanks to our cloud partners and thanks to Logitech Tap. Fourth, easy setup, easy to use. For your tech support team, I promise this will keep a lot of your employees happy and even there at your office. So what we're talking about here is a simple experience where you have a computer, you have a camera, and you have a tap. This is it. This is all what it takes to have video conferencing nowadays. And through Logitech and through Microsoft Teams, you have a Teams image downloaded onto the Intel NUC right there as an example, or any PC that you have. It creates the image and a screen on the Logitech Tap, and it's all USB based, plug and play, ready to go. There's no subscriptions, there's no contracts. It's purchase, play, and you're done. We even came out with a YouTube video that showed it's so easy to set up. Even a couple of 6-year-olds could set up the video, or set up the video conferencing. So if you have a minute, go on YouTube and look this up. It's actually pretty entertaining. Our global marketing team came up with this. It's pretty good. So number 3, global scalability. India is becoming, as Professor Patak talked about, such a hotbed of growth and opportunity and expansion. This is going to be important for many of your customers, or many of your companies who then are deploying these technologies worldwide. As India will become the center of a lot of commerce around the world, we need to make sure that as a company, as Logitech, we can deploy in India and to your companies around the world. We service over 160 million Logitech products a year and across over 100 countries around the world. And India is definitely one of our top priority markets here. So second, management through software. So as your company scales and grows, and as all these students go into the workforce and then need jobs, and as they build and as they grow, these solutions that they're all using, they will also build and scale and grow. But these products will need firmware updates. They may be unplugged or plugged back in or what have you, whatever happens. How do you manage this and scale it at an efficient level? We've introduced a solution called Logitech Sync, where it's an Amazon web-based cloud platform where it's a single login where it tracks and manages all the Logitech devices that your company has, and it can detect any product that needs a firmware update or any product needs to be plugged in or has any issue. It can identify and isolate it right away, so you can either make an update right from the cloud, or you can have someone on site physically go plug it in or what have you if there's any issue. This is a huge advancement that your IT team will, I promise, will love and enjoy. So we'll love to talk to you more about that later after the meeting here. Number 1, cloud agnostic solutions. So Logitech, cover your eyes, Mitesh, I'm sorry, we've got a couple of competitors up here, but Logitech products are completely agnostic. No matter what cloud application you and your company are using, Logitech video conferencing devices are able to be USB-based, plug and play, and attached to Zoom, BlueJeans, Pexip, whatever customized solution you have on site, our video conferencing devices will work and give that consistent, high-quality, affordable experience that you're looking for on a daily basis. It's funny, as Mitesh was showing some of these stats, I laughed because luckily, fact check, the stats were the same and stats were very similar. So Microsoft continues to expand, continues to grow, and cover your ears one more time. Zoom, their annual minutes usage of video conferencing is growing to over 40 billion minutes used on an annual basis. So people are spending more and more time on video to communicate in addition to audio. So this face-to-face interaction is becoming very important. I know audio first has kind of been a bit of an India staple. But as the cloud emerges, as the infrastructure improves here, and as our communication continues to expand, video is definitely the next stage here that we're trending to. So again, my name is Lee Bergs. Come back and visit us at the booth, and thank you again for joining us. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.